At this point of time, I think it's fair for me to say that Dragon Age the Veilguard is just basically an entertaining circle. With how the game developer and those who defend the game crowning on themselves almost on a daily basis for the past few days, I don't even feel bad for them anymore. Hello there, how's it going? Ame Gakita there. So obviously today focus will be talking about the Dragon Age Veilguard. But then again, it's really more so about those who defending the game or who create the game in the first damn place. And it's really kind of like when you look at the whole scenario about how the game failed, it flopped and flopped to the point that it just became a joke, a meme at this point of time. And it's really not about those people who hate the game just became a hater. It's just people who don't like the game, don't buy the game, don't enjoy the game, don't buy the game, whatever you want to call them. And they're just making a joke out of the game at this point of time about how much of a failure the game is. And those who do enjoy the game just couldn't let it go, just couldn't accept the fact that the game was a flop. And now what do? Just go around thinking that, hey, people are just a hater along the line, when they could just ignore those people no matter what. But who am I to judge? And when the game failed, the most important thing that I've been saying all this time is that when the game fails, who is the first to go? Those who make the game, as well as those who is on the lower part of the pyramid in a game company. Now, it's really kind of like such a joke at this point of time that I don't even feel bad for them. And it's really kind of one of the moments that you just need to sit down and just say that they could have avoided it if they actually listened to the feedback. It's not really like a moment that just because they don't like to listen to feedback because the criticism was too harsh, or is it that because their ego or pride is just too big that they can't accept the fact that people don't like it. Now, it's really one of the funny moments that when you sometimes look at like so-called the majority gamers base versus the minority gamers base, you will have to ask yourself, like, do you as a game company want to cater to the biggest group, or do you want to go for the smaller group? And at the end of the day, it's really one of the moments that if you're catering to the smaller group, then how much do you want to put into the budget? How much do you want to showcase that the game is like having all this so-called false agenda, ideology, methodology, or whatever BS in it, and how much will it bring in the money? Now, it's really kind of like funny that even the so-called the LGBTQ community or the creator themselves are now losing over the part of that the game failed, and that they going on a rap saying that, hey, the company was never on their side, the company was never trying to cater to them in the first place, when the game itself was initially catered for them. Now, it's really kind of funny that when the game failed, who was the first to go? Them, because they are the main focus on why the game failed. And when the game company, the so-called higher up, you don't never really see like the CEO being fired, or the director being fired, or the higher up being fired. Normally you just hear them, they leave on their own term, or they just step off. You never hear the layoff. The only word that you hear, the word layoff or fire, is basically those who were at the bottom, alright? And all those people are now just crying and whining over the part that they have been laid off, they've been fired, or how they feel being betrayed. And the funny thing is, right, it's really one of the moments that you have to ask one thing: do you feel sympathy for them? To me, I don't. It's not because I don't have empathy or whatever. It's we try to warn those people about trying to force your agenda or ideology to games, and if there's a majority of people pushing it back, you can't outright just say they are haters. You have to understand where their idea came from, why is it that they are against it, and then you have to go with the idea that you can't just say that, hey, why can't we have everything in the game? Instead of saying like, oh, it's not realistic, that's why we don't like that in the game along the line. Dude, if people want it in the game, you add it to the game. You just don't go and say that it shouldn't be in the game. Is catering to both sides might actually save Veilguard in the first place if they actually listen. Now, at the end of the day, who are the ones to lose out on the overall those people who create the game, as well as, again, in a funny way, those people who love the game, apparently, all those people who are trying to defend the game, when I don't see many of them even bothering playing or streaming or and seemingly enjoying the game or even buying the game, for how I look at it. It's like I've seen quite a few people, even game journalists, saying that, oh, the game is good whatsoever, and then when you ask them, do you play the whole damn game? Oh, we didn't own the game, we didn't buy the game. Wow. Why not? Interestingly named. So it's really one of the moments that you have to ask yourself, like, is it that they are trying to defend the game, or is it because they got the DI, or is it because it got the world or whatever thing in the game, that's why they are trying to defend the game? And I've been going around indicating in many of my random chats saying that it's fine if you want to add DI in the game, at least make it reasonable, at least make it understandable as well as relatable. And it's really one of the things that you do not want to just force one side in. Like, if you want to add DI to it, you have to also cater to the other side. You have to add pretty good looking character, you have to add in character that is maybe people love the big boot or the big ass or even like handsome guy along the line. You can't just say that, oh, we're just going to have a handsome guy but not a pretty lady. It doesn't make sense. So you have to, like, either you like it or not, you have to add in a lot of things. You have to add in many things. I know a lot of people will be saying, like, adding too much thing can make the thing a bit over, and I can agree with that, but it's really one of the things you have to ask yourself, is the game catered to one side or are you catering to many sides? If you are only catering to one side, then you are only getting that side of the audience. You are not going to get overall. And those people who are trying to defend the game and not just going for other plays, like, if I believe like Rapson was the one who said that even if the game is like, in his own word, is like being end, there won't be like a future game. I would have to highlight that I doubt the game will be out of nowhere disappeared. There may be a out of nowhere so-called remastered or a remake version or maybe a new series of Dragon Age along the line. I doubt the company, the EA, which is the parent company of Bioware, who just out of nowhere saying that, oh, it's there, it's long gone. Because if they got a chance to bring it back, I think they will bring it back somehow. Just the only thing you have to ask yourself, will they include the DEI? Now, a lot of things a lot of people need to understand is that, is DEI truly gone? Each company nowadays starting to reject DEI. I highly doubt so. I already taught that in the previous video, and I recommend you guys to check that out if you are interested. But understanding one thing, that just because they so-called fire a lot of the LGBTQ creators or game developer or even people who is like into those kind of DEI along the line, I highly doubt they are gone. The only funny thing is that all those people aren't aware is that they are just a scapegoat, they are just a tools, and they are not even human in the eyes of the company. And I think I've seen a lot of comment talking about how they are just fooling on themselves, crowning on themselves, thinking that the company will defend them, when in fact the first to lay off are them. So at the end of the day, the one thing a lot of people need to understand, that to the company, to EA, to Bioware as a whole, it just basically means one simple thing. They now know that the formula is a failing formula. They know that a lot of gamer base do not like the DI, the LGBT or whatever in the game. Now they know that formula, they know it's a failure, they will not add that in future game, and I hope that will be the case. But even if they do not add in those in the game, it doesn't mean that they are saying that they're actually rejecting it. They may add some form of it in the game, or they may still do the same thing again. But only thing is that they will just tell the whole world that, hey, they don't have the people now, they can just go and do whatever they want, and the people can't blame them because they don't have the people who are the problematic one. But the only thing is that, as I will have to highlight in one simple term, trust their words, not their words. Because if you think that just because they say that, hey, they do all the layoff, will the company still remove actual DEI or things that is considered false within the game that doesn't make sense and just trying to fool to others? Hard to say, but then again, I will have to say that give it a wait and see approach. See if the game is truly considered DEI or not. If it does not have DEI in the game, then I think it's fair for me to highlight at least that at this one time that maybe they learned their lesson. But again, don't out nowhere just think that, oh, it's a layoff, they aren't gonna add in DI in future game. Maybe they won't, but it's not like it's gonna disappear anytime soon. And what will happen to those people who have been laid off? Well, again, like I mentioned, I will not feel bad for them because it is something that a lot of gamers, including myself, have been trying to warn them that they are just nothing but a tool to the company. And we're trying to say that if you can understand that if you cater to all sides of the gamer base, then I think it's fair for me to at least say that, hey, maybe it won't be that bad. But because you're just trying to force one agenda into everyone's mind, then I think it's fair that everyone will push back. If you can't accept other people's criticism or feedback, then it's obviously the same way people won't accept your ideology or your agenda, whatever BS you want to put up for. So at the end of the day, what will happen to Bioware? Personally, I do not think that Bioware layoff is going to affect the company as a whole. They will probably still going to exist until the company do finally bankrupt. And the best way is what many people will say, vote with their wallet. Now, it's only a matter of wait and see approach and how their next game will be. If their next game do not have so-called forced agenda or ideology, then again, like I mentioned, it's fair that they have learned their lesson. The only issue is that will the so-called modern audience continue to be a crowd? Now, it's really one of the funny moments that I seen quite a lot of fun comment on the internet. It's really one of the best moments that sometimes I ask everyone to just do one simple thing: stay away from the internet because it's really good for your mentality. And that means both sides. It doesn't mean just to the so-called haters, but to also people who are trying to defend the game. Now, it's really one of the moments that I try to be unbiased to both sides, that if people don't like the game, then don't buy the game, don't play the game. It's that just simple. But then when people are trying to make a joke out of it, then ignore those people. Don't go and say that, hey, you should not start crashing on the game, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of that. No. Just live your life, block those people, enjoy the game you want. I mean, I'm not really the type of person to go and trash and attack other people over the game they want. If they love Dragon Age the Veilguard, then go for them. I mean, like, they enjoy a game that was considered a failure by many. At least that's something, right? But then at the end of the day, it's really one of the moments you have to ask yourself, like, why were you going around on the internet trying to defend the game when majority of people are just trashing the game? Maybe in future, when there is a moment where people do actually enjoy the game, then at that time you can just say that, hey, I enjoy the game. Like, a lot of games don't really like set off at the start. It's just that when the failure is so obvious, that I don't think it's fair for you to go and say that, hey, you guys should not hate the game along the line. If people hate the game, let them be. I mean, like, you enjoy your game, right? No one is stopping you, right? Unless you're telling me that people are stopping you, then who am I to know? Who am I to judge? Who am I to stop? So it's really one of the moments that you have to sit down and ask yourself, like, why would you go and post on the internet just trying to defend the game when a lot of people is attacking the game or trying to make a joke out of the game? And people are just going to look at you like a clown, just making a fool of yourself, or you just making a fool of yourself, who knows. But if the game is considered a failure, then it's considered a failure because one simple thing, it did not make money. Can you deny the fact that the game made money for the company? If it does not, then it's not fair for you to just say that the game is making money. I mean, like, there are some people who say the game is considered a good game or whatever, then I think it's good. Good for you to enjoy the game. But if people don't like the game, then just say that it's people don't like the game. Just that simple. Why do you want to go around and say that hey, people have to do this, do that, whatever? Isn't that the same thing as you don't want them to do it? If people are doing it, why are you going to do it? Right? So it's really one of the moments that sometimes we look at both sides of the coin. It's not that I'm saying like the haters should start hating on the game. It's fair if you don't like the game, you don't buy the game. People are just making a joke out of it. But if you can't stand it, then obviously it's fair for you to not stand it. Just don't go and attack them. Don't be a clown along the line. It's just that simple. But then again, I've seen a lot of people just crying themselves over the internet, making a joke out of them. And at this point of time, I would say, like, as a whole, right, as for the whole company, as the game as a whole, it's just been a few weeks already, to a few months, and I've been seeing a lot of people just crying on themselves, defending the game, saying like the game is considered success because like it considered having sold 1 million copy or more. But when it's not making money for the company, then you have to ask yourself, is it really considered succeed? Is it really making the money? Because if it's not, then I don't think it's fair to say that the game is a success. A lot of people will just call it a flop. People will call it a failure. But at the end of the day, who am I to judge? I mean, like, I'm just a person just trying to warn everyone that sometimes you don't look at one side of the coin, you have to understand many sides of the coin. But at the end of the day, I will still have to say at the start, at the same thing again, it's fair for me to say that Dragon Age the Veilguard is basically a circle. It's just basically everyone in it just clowning on themselves, making a fool of themselves. Not saying like everyone is a clown. There are some people who deserve some credit. But when you kind of like going around making the worst reasoning, coming out with the weird argument, then I think a lot of people will just point at you and laugh. Isn't it? But at the end of the day, that is just my speculative thought, just a random chat. Whether you agree, disagree, do you think that Bioware is just clowning on themselves or not? Write in the comment section below, we can discuss it further. If not, if you do like this video, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe for more random chat where I talk about stuff that sometimes makes sense, doesn't make sense, or random at time. But the one thing I hope is not random for you guys is have a nice day or night. Bye.